Okay, we're live streamed. Aloha, everybody from Hawaii.
And hello from Northern British Columbia in Canada. Welcome to the Harmony and Healing Show with Cindy and Julia. So nice to be with you again as we come live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, except for the last Tuesday of the month. That's kind of our integration week where we take our time for us and just to do our practices. So I hope that that's something that you maybe incorporate into your life, like having that little bit of downtime just to integrate whatever is happening for you in your life, or time for contemplation or relaxation. Um,
So important. We just run around like little ants on this planet. Got to do this, got to do that, got to do this, got to do that. We take time and just sit back and just allow things to settle, and we get a whole new perspective. And sometimes we even change our plans because that's what we're guided to do. It just feels so good to be able to take that time.
yeah, and for me, I love being in nature and being
Yeah.
out on the lake and being in nature. That's kind of my integration place. How about you, Julia?
I definitely, I live on 3 acres, kind of like you live on the land. So I love being out on the land. I love being out on my back lanai, which is outside but has a roof on it for the Hawaii showers. I love being in the hot tub and laying in the sun. But yes, I definitely love going up and seeing my horse and stopping
Mhm.
by the greenhouse and doing a little gardening on the way back. So yeah, it's about the land.
Yeah, very much here too. Love it so much. And yeah, it nurtures our soul and it speaks to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mama,
So,
Pachamama.
mhm. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you have been with us for a while, we're so honored that you take time out of your day to tune in
Yes, we are.
and share sacred space with us. And we also invite you to, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be notified when we're coming live. So,
Absolutely.
and we do have a tradition here. We begin with opening the four directions, and we invite you to join in if possible, even just to feel into the energy of the archetypes that we're calling in, and or just listen in and take in the words and feel them. Okay, and then Julia will lead us through a short drumming to really allow us to drop in and to just really be present in this sacred space. So we always begin in Andean shamanism with opening up the south direction, Sachamama. To the winds of the south, Sachamama, beautiful serpent, mother of the waters. Come into our sacred medicine space today. Be with us. Gently wrap your coils of light and love around us so that we can feel your presence, and just guide us and teach us how to shed and release those things that are no longer serving us, like tired old skin, worn out, those thoughts, habits, beliefs. So teach us to be tender and nurturing with our new skins, with our new ways of being. Teach us to be belly to belly with Pachamama, the divine mother, the keeper of the divine feminine wisdom, so that we may feel her essence and be guided by her gentle ways. We thank you for being with us. Audrey.
Aho. To the winds of the west, or Tarango, mother, sister, brother, jaguar, coming into our space from the place of the setting sun, showing how to walk with you into the darkness and see, teaching us how to see into the ethereal, leaving the physical and entering into the ethereal, showing us the tools of the luminous warrior in truth and peace, to walk with non-doing, non-engagement, certainty, and to absolute fearlessness. Imbue us with your courage as we enter into that ethereal space, as we interweave our spiritual path, learning the lessons from our shadows and moving on. And we emanate the light and we emanate the truth of Urtarango. Aho.
To the winds of the north, ancestors, ancient ones, grandmothers and grandfathers, you who have come before us, we honor your ways, your wisdom, your knowledge. We invite you to sit around the sacred fire and share with us. And as we take in your great wisdom, and generations to come, our children's children, bringers of the light, we welcome you here today. Share with us new ways of being that really awaken humanity to the dimensions of love. We honor you. And Siwar Kente, royal hummingbird, sweet bird, you who takes the epic journey from South America to North America, that impossible journey, the mystical creature, guide us on our soul's journey and teach us to cultivate that inner stillness, inner peace, and to only drink from the sweet nectar of life. We thank you. Ah.
Aho. To the winds of the east, great Apachin Kundor, eagle condor, thank you for coming into our medicine space from the place of the rising sun, teaching us to bring that sun, that rising of the newness of the day into our life every day, giving us a new start, a new perspective. Teach us to fly with you, eagle, to catch the updrafts, to be able to avoid the storms, to be able to take that higher perspective, looking down at the fray and understanding how obstacles can become opportunities, giving us that new insight, that new motivation, that new inspiration as we fly with you. And thank you, wonderful Condor, for your depth, for the foundational seatedness of who you are. Even in your silence, how you take us and you show us some mysteries of great spirit if we open our hearts and our minds. We honor both of you for your visionary gifts. Aho.
Pachamama, beloved Mother Earth, keeper of the divine feminine wisdom. We honor you, great Mother, you who ground us. You nurture and nourish us with your bounty, with your beauty. You give so much to us, so much joy, so much sustenance. All we have, it's cultivated from your essence. And we honor you, all your people, stone people, plant people, four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlies, the finned, the furred, and the winged ones. All our relations.
Aho. Entitaita. Father Sky, Mama Kia, Grandmother Moon, Sashka Kuna, Star Nations, and celestial, luminous beings of light, come, humpway, into our space. Give us that understanding, that discernment, that ability to be able to start and open our vision to newness and new ways of navigating our life forward in these troubled times with peace, deep-seated peace, grace, and ease. We thank you, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names and still the unnameable one, the one that guides, directs, and supports us. You are our foundation. We honor all today. Hold.
And we take a moment to open up our own individual sacred space, as well as for our IU, our community here, whether you're live with us or watching the replay. So we have a luminous ball of light overhead, chakra 8. That's about an arm's distance overhead. So we're going to inhale and imagine that you're piercing this luminous ball of light. Open up your arms, your hands, and bring that all around you. Even imagine it, bringing it beneath your feet, connecting it into the earth. Just feel that essence around you. And then we're going to open it up again, and we're going to bring that light over our whole community here. So everyone is enveloped in this beautiful golden light, this high frequency energy of love.
What a difference that makes.
I know, I love it. I do it often. And it's a beautiful
Several
practice.
times a day.
I know, many times a day.
Yeah, just to feel that sacredness, that luminous energy, and it just sort of takes you where you are, and you could be in the midst of a trouble or something that's challenging you, and all of a sudden you bring in the light, and it's like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay, right? Yeah. Yeah, my drum's a little wet, but here we go. It's humid here today. Ooh. So take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths and inhale that luminous energy into your field, your energy field. And as you do that, as you feel the presence of light, use your exhalations to let go. Let go of all the way you see things right now. Be willing to take a new perspective. As Eagle comes into our energy field and invites us to fly high above the storm with the updrafts. She flies really high, but she still keeps her sights on the earth. And she can see the smallest details, so she's inviting us to just let go, to just go fly with her, to really enter into the essence of inspiration and new insights, and enjoy the flight. Perhaps you will be seated behind her eyes as she goes forward, and you will see the terrain from her perspective. Perhaps you'll just fly high above the fray and be able to look down and say, it's okay, because now I have that higher perspective. So in that, let's enter into breathing together. As we breathe together, there is a collective harmony that comes together. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, and 4, and release. And empty. Hold it empty. And inhale the light. 2, 3, 4, and hold that light in your field. And while you're doing that, let go with your exhalations. Letting go, letting go, letting go. We need to let go. And then hold that space as sacred and empty. And inhale. And hold it. Exhale. Hold it sacred, empty and sacred. And inhale one more time. Breathing together in the collective. Hold it. Hold that light in the collective. Exhale. Exhale as a collective. And then just empty your lungs until it feels comfortable into a slower breathing pattern, but comfortable for where you are, for what you feel. Take this moment to rest, to tune in. Allow yourself to relax if you can. Perhaps you may want to lay down. Perhaps you may want to go outside. Why not? And if you have the opportunity, make contact with Pachamama. Put some part of your body on the earth, your feet, your hands, and just breathe. Breathe in peace. The peace that comes from flying with eagle and condor. The inspiration and motivation for a new insight. Allowing yourself now to be touched. Whether you're touching the earth or not, Pachamama takes it for you. She neutralizes all the stuff that's not in alignment with her highest good. So allow her to do that. Give it to her. Then you can really soar. You can really feel the essence of eagle and condor. And the power animals, every single one of them, all the animals were put there, created on this earth to help us, to be with us, to give us that support. For the Creator knew that in our humanness there would be many times that we need the support of our furry ones and of the ones that have come into our energy field. So just allowing again eagle and condor right now. I can see us flying with her ethereally and leaving what is bothering you completely behind and entering in to that peaceful soaring in the spirit. And just hold yourself there. Even as we come back into the room, hold that vision, hold that higher sight. Allow yourself to have a different lens when you look at your life now, for we need that, especially today. So holding it, coming back into the room, 3, 2, and 1.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Julia.
My pleasure.
So we're going to do an oracle reading today. We do one at the beginning of every month. Last week we had the honor of having a guest speaker. Jen was with us, so we're doing our oracle reading this week. So we read from the Mystical Shaman Oracle, created by Alberto Villoldo, his wife Marcella, and Colette Baron Reed. It's a beautiful oracle deck that we work with quite a bit. So we're going to do a 4-card reading for you today, one for each of the directions that we just called in, just to glean some of the wisdom from the archetypes. Anything else, anything you'd like to speak to on that, Julia, before we start?
Well, we're going to start with the South, and you're going to pull that card, and the South represents that which you need to let go of. So as we pull this card, just kind of allow it to speak to you, and it will speak to everybody very individually if you allow it. And it could be an old wound that you no longer need, or it could be something new too that you need to allow to come in to define yourself. But before that can happen, we have to let go of the old.
I love what came up, and it's the Luminous Warrior.
Yay!
It's one of my favorite cards. Let's see. So the essence of the Luminous Warrior. The Luminous Warrior has no enemies in this world or the next. He is impeccable. She is impeccable in word and deed. She focuses on the light rather than what hides in the dark. Since she casts no shadows, she is radiant as the sun and can transform her most terrible enemy into an ally. Her power comes not from the sword, but from speaking her truth at all costs. So this is the essence of the card. It's really about stepping into our light and speaking our truth, focusing on the light rather than the dark, which is so important in what's happening in the world today, and you may feel that in your own life. And so the invitation of the luminous warrior reminds you that it is important to focus on your power, wisdom, and beauty. Do not be seduced by what seems wrong with you or with the world. Remember that intention follows attention. So focus on your positive traits. Feed your light with more light until you feel truly empowered. Then there will be little need for action, as you can resolve all situations from within. I love that invitation to go within. So often whatever is happening on the inside is being reflected in the outer world. It's for us. It's a gift for us to look at, to really go inward. If you're feeling a charge around something, or if you're feeling triggered, the invitation is, okay, come within. You look within, use that light to look within, and use your wisdom, your knowledge, your power to see what is this really all about, and how can I turn whatever is happening here into wisdom? What are the gifts in this for me?
And I feel like my focus today seems to be sort of on the collective. And when we can do that as a collective, we can really shift what's happening. I know so many people are sort of caught up in the details, and I have to be very careful in my own life, not to like bury my head in the sand, but not allow what's happening on the outside politically and with our country to affect my mood, to affect the energy, my output of energy, because then I'm just giving more energy to that side. And I don't want to feed that wolf. I want to feed the one that says we can create light. And when we learn to do that fully as a collective, then we can really shift things. And there are a lot of us that are doing this. And so, yeah, I love this reading. I love the luminous warrior. Don't focus on what's, the shadow part. Focus on the light right now. It's really important. So we go to the west if you're done. Are you done? The card in the west represents a part of you that needs to die. It's an old story that needs to be let go of, that you may find a new and meaningful story for your life. And I pulled Crow. Crow is a keeper of the universal law, the law of truth. Crow teaches us to walk our talk, to find congruence between who we say we are, and who we really know ourselves to be. So isn't that the test, in a sense, as we are going through these times? Are we going to walk our talk, or are we going to be drawn into the chaos? So we need to be who we know ourselves to be. This winged one insists that we speak truth, that we create truth instead of searching for it, and that we bring truth to every situation we find ourselves in. So it's about speaking our truth, and ultimate truth. What is the ultimate truth of your life? What do you want your life to be known for? That's something we need to ask ourselves. Do you want your life to be known? And I'm not being critical of anybody's calling. Is your calling to be an activist? Is your calling to be a prayer warrior? Is your calling to be a light spreader, a bringer of the light? And be true to that. Be true to that in your essence. Once you're true in that, there isn't all that need for agitation or feeling bad about what you're doing or entering into arguments and conflicts, because you know who you are, you know why you're here, and you're going to walk in that truth. And when you speak your truth and practice it, eventually everything you say becomes true. That's really important too. Realizing we can create our own truth by what we say, creating with the power of our words. Whew, that's pretty intense. Your power co-create with the truth is the universal law. So correct what isn't true in your life without judgment, without judgment. See, if we do it with judgment, then we're just getting pulled back into the negative. But if we can sit and be with oneness with ourselves and allow the correction to come without judgment. Allow ourselves to see, okay, so perhaps yesterday I entered into that a little too full, and I probably needed to hold the light a little more, or whatever situation you're talking about. But do it without judgment. Do it with kindness and compassion, because we're entering into the truth. We're not entering into conflict. If we do it with judgment, we go ahead and become more part of the conflict, and let the truth set you free.
I love that. And, to me, that just goes so beautifully with the Luminous Warrior as well. Those
Absolutely.
two cards really speak a similar message. And, we can be, when we become the Luminous Warrior, it's so much easier for us to be able to speak our truth and to be in our power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the card of the North represents the wisdom that you need to acquire.
Mm.
You have learned the lessons of the South and the West cards. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you are ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? Let's see what North card comes up. Oh, Jaguar.
I've been getting Jaguar a lot lately.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, wonderful, mystical, ethereal Jaguar.
The jaguar is the protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relinquishing or relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, day and night. So she's a really beautiful guide that can help us weave in between, the dark and the light, the conscious and the subconscious, the outer world and the inner world. She gives us the great courage and the grace, the fearlessness to navigate all of that. Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places that you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your jaguar instinct will serve you well. And, we are in such uncertain times right now. So she is such a beautiful guide that can help us to walk into the unfamiliar, because we're faced with unfamiliar on a regular basis now, the uncertainty and the unfamiliar. But
Absolutely.
knowing that she is your guide and you can call on her courage, her fearlessness, and her, above all, her grace. Because when we can walk into the unknown with certainty and grace, and the qualities of the luminous warrior, focusing on the light but not ignoring the dark, but looking at it from a place of power, of wisdom, of courage, and the light will soften it. It always does. The light will help to dissolve. It shows us, the light shines in the dark to show us that these shadowy parts actually have gifts for us, that they are not something that we need to fear. It's something, they're actually, parts of ourselves that if we embrace them, they are transformative.
I've been experiencing that, things I never thought I would be able to transform physically are happening. and it's just amazing. And I'm just, I'm struck by the fact that here she is, the queen of the jungle, has no predators, and she doesn't like sit at the edge of the jungle and bellow and say, "I'm the queen of the jungle." She's very quiet as she stalks through the jungle gracefully, relishing the abundance of the rainforest and all and enters in to all of these gifts that she can share with us. And I was just thinking about that. Here she is, amazing, but she is so graceful. And I think about my cat. I have some cats, but I have one especially that's beautiful, very graceful, very cat-like. And I think about Jaguar when I watch her movements, because she is so much like imitating the movements of Jaguar, very carefully, very gracefully, kind of taking stock of what's around and then going forward. And I love that part where it says that we can actually use that energy to transform within us the unknown, but toss caution to the wind and know that Jaguar is going to be with us in that transformation.
And it's great awareness too. It's being aware. She's very aware of her surroundings, but
Very.
she's not going into fear, and she's staying in that state of grace and that fearlessness and that certainty and that impeccability. And so that's a great she's a great model for us. It's a great teachings of how we can navigate through our shadowy parts, through the humanity's shadowy parts.
Absolutely. Well, you know me, I love Jaguars. So I think a lot of us in this medicine do. So going into the east, it represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. I thought this was a very interesting card to come up, Coyote.
Mm.
Coyote is kind of like a trickster. Coyote is the symbol of the sacred trickster, the one who provides detours for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. Well, what's the lesson in that? The coyote brings the energy of divine deception to set you free from the shackles of that which doesn't serve you. So we're going along and we think we're like within the divine light, and all of a sudden Coyote comes along and says, "Nope, you're not," and kind of redirects our pathway. So it's a good thing. Sometimes it appears that you will get everything you want, only to find that Coyote brings you the opposite of what you hoped for. The lessons offered by Coyote may at first appear confusing, but they are the most sacred and always for your highest good. If Coyote calls to you, this is a time to pay special attention to detours and disappointment, as they are true tests of faith. You have set your intentions and turned them over to Great Spirit, yet you may find yourself lost and confused when it appears you're being led off course, off the path, leading to your most cherished dreams and desires. Now remember this. Coyote is a sacred trickster and may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you are ready to handle what you have already set in motion. Great growth and understanding comes to you when Coyote calls your name. I thought, wow, that's not a message for what's going on today and how we are to conduct ourselves, to leave that opening within. We may think that we're being directed and guided, and we are by when we tune in by Great Spirit and by the light. But sometimes Coyote goes, wait a minute, kind of side voice, come, this is not really where you want to go. There is more to this than you can see. Coyote has that ability to see into the future and can see where you're going is not where you really want to go. So we could really trust that intervention of her as being for our highest good and the highest good of our planet.
Mm. Absolutely. Sometimes we can really have it in our hearts and our minds that we want things to be a certain way. And so we've kind of chosen a path, but there could be another path, a little side road or a parallel path that actually has more gifts for us, that actually is more in alignment. But we have, we've got our blinders on and we're set and we're wanting things to be a certain way where, Coyote will come in and interfere and go to make us, it's just kind of shakes us up a little bit so we can sit back and we can go, whoa, okay, wait a minute. And if we can pause in that moment and sit back and allow ourselves to kind of integrate what is going on here, what is the message, and some and often it's just a simple little course correction.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Yep.
that we may not have seen if Coyote hadn't have come along with her beautiful divine gifts
Mhm.
to help us with that little bit of course correction.
So it's important as we receive direction for our pathway, not to be questioning all the time, but if she comes to be open to saying, okay, so maybe I just need to shift the pathway a little over this and then come back, or whatever she guides, because she will talk to you and she will help you to understand what needs to be done. She doesn't just come in, she course corrects.
Yeah, could be just a missing little piece that,
Yeah.
we just need to um, pause for a moment and see the bigger picture of what is unfolding.
Yes, representing our possible destiny, the way that we will show our treasures and share them with others. So perfect, really, for that reading for the East card.
So that beautiful reading for July.
Mm.
So, just calling on the gifts of the luminous warrior, the jaguar, um, the coyote, and what was the other one that we drew, Julia? That you drew?
Grow
Oh, the crow. Yeah.
for truth. Yep.
Mm.
Speaking and
Beautiful.
creating your truth.
From a place of light and courage and certainty, and but also, just being open for any little course corrections that might be in
Flexibility.
our highest good. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, beautiful.
So happy July to everybody. Just
Mhm.
allow the message to just bring wisdom that's individual for each of you, and it'll be different for each of you.
So if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to share that came up, you could, we invite you to comment, or you can contact Julia or I. Um, so we do have a Facebook group, the Divine Feminine Shaman. And if you're not a member, we invite you to join us on the Divine Feminine Shaman group. So you can keep Julia does some beautiful posts every day, and you can also see what's happening, what's coming up, and the replay of our show gets posted there as well.
As well as our individual pages. And so you can view it. Yeah. So many blessings to you.
Mhm.
We go forward.
So let's close the directions for this this week. To the winds of the south, Sachamama, beautiful serpent, thank you for being with us today, for wrapping your beautiful coils of light and love around us, to be present with us in all your beauty, for teaching us the beauty way, to walk in beauty and touch everyone we meet with beauty. And we release you now. Pray.
Oh. To the winds of the west, Ortarango Jaguar. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming into our space and into our reading and giving yourself as an example of how to interweave our lives with our shadows and our lessons and light and dark, and how to hold our power and yet be willing to look at what needs to transform within us. We thank you for your lessons. We thank you for the prowess and the power of your image, and we release you now whole.
To the winds of the north, ancestors, ancient ones, grandmothers and grandfathers, and generations to come, thank you. Thank you for being with us in Sacred Circle today, for sharing your ways, your wisdom, your knowledge. We honor you. We release you. Siwar Kente, Royal Hummingbird, sweet bird, you who guide us with such strength and endurance, beauty and grace, sweetness. We thank you. We release you.
Oh. And to the winds of the east, great eagle condor coming into our space with your beautiful ability to take that higher perspective on everything, giving us the tools and the ability to be able to soar and fly and be able to adjust our lens in new discernment. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with us today, and we release you now. Oh.
Pachamama, our beloved, beloved Mother Earth, we love you so much. We thank you for all of your gifts, for your beauty, your bounty, and how you support and nurture and love us, and ground us, all your people. We thank you, we honor you, and we release you now. Aho.
Oh. And to Auntie Taita, Mama Kia, Sashka Kuna, celestial luminous beings of light and power, great spirit, thank you so much for your amazing gifts, your guidance, your ability to give us these tools as we enter into walking in the light. We thank you and we release you. Oh.
So we'll close our Viracocha over our Ayu, our community. Just reaching down as if you were grabbing the edges of this luminous golden light and bring it up and over everyone here watching live and watching the replay. So you're all showered with this luminous light. And then over yourself, inhaling and exhale. Many blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we invite you to join us again next week. Take care. Have a great week.
Have fun on that lake. You deserve it.
I will. It's smoking hot. It's in the 90s. It was in the 90s before noon today, so I'll be spending some time out there. I already have my dog out there cooling him off. Okay.
All right.
Blessings, everyone. Okay. Namaste.